This is called a 1-beat toss. It's called a 1-beat toss because it's doing one rotation, 1 beat in the middle, right? See, it's doing a rotation and then you catch it. In theory, you should be able to toss and not have to move your hand and it'll land in your hand. The mechanics of it technically are, or at least how I experience it, I can't tell you if this is what the physics of it is actually, but how it feels to me is I'm releasing as the poi is approaching horizontal. And I'm releasing and putting a tiny bit of backspin on it. Backspin is achieved, or how I achieve the backspin, there may be many other ways, is that I take my thumb, I pull back on it slightly at the point of release. So when it's here, my thumb, as it's releasing, pulls back just a little bit, which makes the poi stay closer to my body as it does the rotation. So without the backspin, I find it tends to go forward like that. And by applying the little bit of backspin to it, it will come back to me. And then when you catch it, while you could go into underhand, I think it's easier to just go into overhand because that's what it naturally does. So if you tried it with me, you're gonna release it horizontal, from underhand, release it horizontal, gently put the backspin on it and catch. Okay, now the rule of thumb in terms of how to troubleshoot it is, if it's going too far that way, then you're releasing too early. If it's going too far that way, you're releasing too late, right? Because you can do like this, right, where it's way back there. That's me releasing too late. This is releasing too early. I think doing a release out here is way harder. In fact, I'm frightened by the concept. I mean, I can do it, but I think down here is easier. I'm saying I'm releasing when the poi is at horizontal, not when the arm is at horizontal. Okay, here's another thing that helps me. I like to do this as if I'm going slowly, but I'm doing, do you see how I'm doing a little bit of a linear extension here? And I mean, my hand is moving up and down while I'm doing the circle, right? So by doing that, I can keep it going slower and I have a bigger arc. Then what I do is I prepare right here at the bottom of the turn, and as my hand is lifting to go up, that's when I release. So halfway up the linear extension, that's when I release. Try a slightly bigger circle than that. Like exaggerate your circle, make it big so it can go slow. Oh, okay, you're doing your circle, you're doing it bigger, differently than I am. You're doing this. Do you see the difference between this and this? So see how that's going up and down more? Do you see how that's vertical? Your hand is going like this versus like this. Okay, one's a circular extension, one's a linear extension. Next thing is you did catch that one. But you're like, yeah, but I didn't catch it by the handle. I almost never, ever, never catch it by the handle. So here's what happens when I catch it. Let me do a catch. Okay, I caught it right here. Okay, so if you catch it on the string and you catch it right here, then what you could do is, as it's coming around, watch, so I'm here, what I do is I let it slide through my fingers like that, right? So I'm on the leash somewhere, and then I let it slide so that the knob comes back into my hand. I'll show you from this side. I let it slide. So that might actually be a good place to start so that you get comfortable with it. If you put your hand somewhere down on your leash like this and you spin, so you're somewhere down on your leash, then you open your fingers and let the poi slide. Slide, slide, yes. Okay, now you can walk it back. So you'll notice here, I'm spinning, but I'm walking it up my hand by grabbing, right? See how my knob is just floating around annoyingly? Now slide it back down so you can practice that. And then grab up on the leash and then let it slide back down. And then grab up on the leash and let it slide back down. And then grab up on the leash and let it slide back down. The one time it doesn't really work is if when you catch it here, but then your knob is somehow wrapped around you and then twisted on the cord. Like if it's like that, you may be, you may not be if you can flick this back without losing the poi. Right, because it's all in motion at the same time. So, you know, there are bad catches that you can have where you can't actually let it slide. But if you can catch it on somewhere on the leash, even this one, this was a terrible catch, intentionally. Now I'm letting it slide between these two fingers, and then I'm letting it roll over so that I can grab it with my thumb. So this is a great technique. See how I have it between my two fingers? Okay, we're just gonna practice this. We're spinning it, it's between my two fingers. So if you had caught it here, like this, right? Yeah, somehow you gripped it like that, right? And maybe, or I've done them where it's like this between these three fingers, right? You're here. Now it's a matter of going from spinning like this, where it's between my fingers, to this, this to this, this to this. And practicing just being able to do the manipulation in your hand of where the leash is. Yeah, the specific one I was just teaching, which I think is a really good beginner combination, is even if you don't do it with both poi, even if you just do it with one. All right, I'll just show you with both. Doing the toss, catching, and then sweeping back. Then doing the toss, catching, then sweeping back. Doing the toss, catching, sweeping back. Doing the toss, catching better than that, and sweeping back. That you're using a very old school move that is like super core to your repertoire. I'm sure these sweep backs are super core, right? So you could do, I feel like this can look really cool in an unexpected way where you come around and then, well, I have it better. Like that, right? And then you can just go back around and then do a better toss than me. Personally, I find that to be one of the easiest ones. Remember this flower, which we were just doing? Right, so there's a more complex variant of where you might put it. Underhand, and then you're gonna release it horizontal, do your little backspin, and then grab it.